Hi there, Man Alive listener. This is your host, Shayna James. You may or may not know that I started a new podcast. It's called Practicing Love, Have the Best Love and Sex of Your Life After 40. I wanted to post a few episodes over here so you can get a feel for the new podcast and hopefully subscribe to it so you don't miss any of the new episodes. I'm excited to build on Man Alive and support people, all people, with love and relationships, dating and sex, and what it takes to not only keep love and sex alive, but to actually have the best love and sex of your life, especially in midlife and beyond. Though to be honest, whatever age you are, there will be powerful information for you there. So I hope you enjoy this episode of Practicing Love, and feel free to reach out with questions and ahas and also topics you'd like to see covered there. If you haven't yet taken the quiz to see what keeps you from having the best love and sex of your life, go to shaynajamescoaching.com/quiz. You'll get a personalized report of your strengths and challenges in the 5 crucial areas that lead to your most fulfilling and exciting love and sex life. Go to shaynajamescoaching.com/quiz to find out. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Man Alive. I'm your host, Shayna James. So excited to be here today to talk about things that are deep in the heart and soul and have a profound impact on a man's life, on a human's life, and also can be kind of controversial. So we have an amazing guest, Solay Rad, here today. Solay is a thought leader, a men's coach, leads a men's community called Pray It Forward. And we're going to talk about finding purpose and partnership through the technology of prayer. So just a disclaimer, this is not about being religious. And I'll be honest and say prayer to me is something that in my spiritual journey is not something that I've done a lot of. It's more, I've meditated and I've set intentions and all of those kinds of things. But the word prayer, I think because I did have some of those religious connotations growing up, has been hard for me. So I'm excited to hear more about how you, Solay, view prayer. I've experienced your prayer and the power of it, which has been, beautiful and touched my heart deeply. So I'm excited for you to share more with our listeners.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shayna. And hello to all the listeners. And boy, are we going to go on a ride today.
We are going to go on a ride.
Another disclaimer, this is not about religion. This is about real purpose and really being able to make meaning out of the entire experience that we're here to have as human beings. So, Shayna, thank you. I'll start with a quick story about my background, just so your listeners have an idea of who's speaking. Yeah. I grew up in Iran. I was born in a Jewish family, and for the first 8 years of my life, I grew up in bomb shelters because Iran and Iraq were having a war. And I'll never forget, being a kid, my parents told me to pray. And what I would do is what most people do. I would sit on the edge of my bed. I would put my hands together. I would look up into the sky and I would say, God, please help us. Get us out of this situation. Send us some money. Help me get a girlfriend. And silence. Nothing would happen.
Yeah.
So over time, I started to realize I don't want to be a beggar anymore. And as I immigrated to America as a war refugee, I didn't speak any English, didn't have any money, had no friends. And I started to slowly learn about this concept of personal development when I was in my 20s. And personal development benefited me very much, but it also disconnected me from some really powerful elements, which we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
You see, in the world of personal development, it's common to hear the phrase, if it's meant to be, then it's up to me. So I have to try hard. I have to put all the energy and the effort into this space so that I can become something.
Yes.
And for me, that was definitely the case. Coming out of poverty, I did everything I can. I was a DJ for many years. Then I started becoming a financial advisor. And after many, 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 many years of hard work, I had it. I was a financial advisor in Beverly Hills. I had my own company. I was managing over $100 million of assets, which was a lot of money for a kid who came to this country
with nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Came here with nothing.
And I got to a point where I had a 7-figure income, and I can't tell you how disappointed I was.
Wow.
And I was disappointed.
Like? What was the disappointment like?
The disappointment is, have you ever had a goal that you really looked up to and you really wanted to achieve the goal because you thought that when you got there, things would be really different.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we all have, right? We get to a point in our lives where we achieve something really great and meaningful, and then we recognize how empty it is, and we got to start all over again.
Yeah.
So at the age of 33, with a 7-figure income, I was so disappointed because I thought that having a lot of money, being around a lot of gorgeous women would make me happy and fulfilled. And it was no amount of money that I could make that would really fulfill my thirst for life, for adventure, for meaning. Yeah. So
meaning sounds, I mean, yes, there's adventure and all those things, but I've just heard you say meaning a couple of times, and it sounds like that's important to you.
Totally, because for those people who are struggling with the basic core needs like shelter, food, and finances, a lot of times they think that the next piece of support will get them to where they want to be. And it's not till you get to the very, very, very top of the mountain that you realize, oh, damn, I missed the picture. There's got to be more juice in it than just these possessions.
Yeah.
Right? So at the age of 33, 34, I was super bored, and I was addicted to pornography, chasing women, spending money, over shopping, overworking, many of these behaviors that most men participate in when they are generally bored.
Yeah.
They try to create action through things that are diminishing or oftentimes, how do I say?
It's kind of numbing right? There's like what were you going to say?
I was going to say that a lot of guys, we want excitement in our lives.
Yeah.
I tell people that we want to be horny about life.
Yeah.
And when we're not horny, we cause a lot of damage to ourselves and other people.
Yeah.
And I was
There's a lot of drama that happens when that horniness or that vitality or that energy is actually not happening.
If it's not being channeled towards something positive and purposeful, most men create destruction in their lives instead of purpose and creation.
Yeah.
So I myself was one of those guys, and I didn't like it because I was like, I can't believe my life's come down to this, where I have to participate in really poor behavior to have at least some fun and some adrenaline in my life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got into a lot of trouble that I realized, man, this life has to change. And most of us describe that as the dark night of the soul. Many people get to a point where they reach the bottom, and they're like, okay, I got to make a change here. And that was me. I call that an ego death.
Yeah.
It's when an identity that you relied on for so long ends up being useless or becomes insufficient for you.
Yeah.
And so you recognize that, man, I got to let go of a lot of things to start brand new as a new identity that can have potential. Yep. So I went through that, and I couldn't get out of this dark night of the soul. It was very, very strong and heavy. Included federal government agents and all kinds of stuff that goes beyond just everyday problems.
Wow.
And I started to go back into my memory of reinvestigating certain tools that I'd been given that I wrote off or thought were just obsolete. One of them was this concept of prayer, right? And for most people, prayer has been given to them as a religious tool. And they use this thing from a space of beggarship, from a space of asking for mercy and pleading.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, and all of the listeners who are listening, human beings were never meant to be slaves. So when we're in a begging position, almost every one of us, when we become more aware and conscious, we're like, dude, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah.
Right. So I went back into the old toolbox and I was like, how do I experiment with this thing called prayer in a way that I've never done before, just to see if it has any potential? So now I'm going to share with people what prayer is and what it isn't. And then I'll talk to you about how I used it and how I now teach about prayer in ways that most people never heard.
Yeah.
See,
I'm excited to actually hear a little bit more about prayer, not from the place of I need to beg or I'm wrong or bad, but a kind of, it sounds like a co-creation with spirit or with what's beyond us that sometimes I think many of us, whatever gender, right, when we're stuck in the do, succeed, need to accomplish mode, we lose sight of the fact that there is even a beyond.
Yes, because so much of it has been indoctrinated through religious constructs.
Yeah.
And as we become more aware, we recognize that a lot of these things don't even apply to our current modern life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the way I would describe prayer is, first of all, this thing is a technology. And a lot of times in modern era, when we talk about technology, we think about things that require battery power or electric power, like the iPhone or any cell phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But prayer itself is just as efficient and just as effective as any technology. In fact, we know there's technology out there that doesn't use battery power, kind of like mechanical technology or spiritual technology. Solar technology.
Yeah.
So prayer actually existed before religion.
Okay.
And it existed before we could even speak any language in the human timeline.
Wow.
So the question I propose is, how did we human beings communicate with our environment when we didn't have any language?
Right. And then I think about like prayers for rain or prayers for food, or it does seem like in my imagination that would be a type of prayer.
That's a type of prayer. But let's get a lot more granular in terms of non-miraculous activities.
Okay.
When you don't have any language is not constructed. How do you communicate with your surrounding? You do it through intention. Intention. So intention is actually the tool that we use as ammunition inside of this technology called prayer.
Okay.
In other words, prayer is a conveyor belt between your intention and the field of possibility. Prayer is a insemination tool that you can impregnate the universe with your desire, your intention.
Okay.
In fact, when we pray, what we are doing is we are making deposits into the field of possibility, and it has nothing to do with religion.
Interesting.
In fact, religion came and saw this technology and they stole it. They adopted it. They said, oh, this is ours. Now you got to pray for us and it belongs to us now.
Wow.
So what prayer is the depository mechanism. And what it isn't, it's not meditation. It's not begging. It's not pleading or asking for forgiveness, although those can also be a part of prayer. But prayer itself is a depository tool. You with me here?
I'm with you. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as you're supporting people to understand prayer, how would someone who hasn't prayed, or someone who's like, well, I'm not religious, right? Or you're covering that, or someone who's not used to prayer, like how do you suggest that they start to get to know prayer?
So that's a wonderful question. And I want to first say that this thing is a tool that needs you to play with it a little bit.
Okay.
And the more you start to play with it, the more accurate it becomes.
Okay.
And I would say that there's some elements that I want to share with the audience around the concept of prayer before we talk about how to use it.
Great.
So we said prayer is a depository tool for intention. Intention is your desire. It's what's inside of you. And many of us have intentions that we let go of prematurely, kind of like premature ejaculation, where you're like, oops. Many of us eject from our intentions prematurely, meaning we have a strong desire. We want to accomplish something, or we want to become something. And as soon as the world throws a curveball or things go awry,
we let it go.
We let it go. We're like, oh, maybe it's not meant for me.
Yeah.
And I want to bring your attention to the fact that intention has the word tension inside of it.
Yeah.
Meaning, whatever your desire is, you better be willing to hold the tension. Hold the tension. Don't eject. Don't let go. Don't get away. Hold like your life depends on it.
What does that look like? Like if you're holding the tension like your life depends on it, what does that mean?
This is where belief comes in, where you say to yourself, okay, here's something I want, and it's very important to me.
Okay.
And instead of begging for it, because I know I can become a beggar, or conversely, instead of going out there and killing myself just to get it, I'm going to hold the field of possibility accountable to help me get it. Now, who is the field of possibility? I call it God. And a lot of people get triggered by the word God because they're used to God being described as this old white man in the sky.
Yes.
And many of us know that God is not the old white man in the sky. So we've kind of shied away from the G word, right? We don't say God, we say universe, we say nature. Yeah. I say God. And the reason I say God is because I know that the real God is the field of infinite possibility. And I'm taking that word back from religion. I'm challenging them.
I like that.
Okay. So when we hold God, the field of possibility, accountable, instead of begging, pleading, we say, no, God, I know that I can do this myself if I nearly kill myself.
Okay.
But instead of doing that, I'm going to have belief, otherwise known as faith, and I'm going to hold you accountable because you owe me some things. You brought me here, man. My whole life isn't meant to be suffering and begging.
Interesting. There's a kind of power in there, or like a willingness. It's hard actually for me to access in that way, to feel like you owe me something. How do you access that in yourself?
Well, we're talking accountability. And if your audience has men here, I'll speak in the man language. Accountability requires ownership. Ownership means you better be willing to say the truth to yourself and to others. Meaning, if you've been raised in a poverty parent household where you've been told to hide, avoid, and conceal all of your challenges and problems, there is no way that you're ever going to connect with the field of possibility. Why? Because when you grow up in a family like I did, where mom has depression, but she always pretends like she's okay. Dad has a drinking problem, but he's always pretending like he's sober. What you're told is that if you actually start to own your problems, that you're going to be in trouble. So pretend like you don't have any problems, and hopefully it'll go away. You won't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? The opposite of this, because when we behave in these ways, we are in poverty. Poverty hides. Poverty avoids. Poverty conceals. And wealth owns. Wealth is about ownership. And so what I teach people is if you want to connect with the field of possibility or anybody, you better start to practice what I call ownership.
Ownership?
Ownership.
Ownership. Okay, say more about ownership.
Ownership is the concept of owning your shit, all of it. And not hiding behind it. And men talk about this in a different way. We say, look, you've ever invested in an S&P 500 company, any company in the stock market, all of these publicly traded companies, they have what's called a balance sheet. And a balance sheet is a document that they release every quarter, and it shows the company's assets and the company's liabilities. Okay? Every one of us human beings has a balance sheet. Our assets is our light, our power, all of the things that we could bring to the table. Our liabilities are the challenges that we struggle with in secret. Now imagine if a company came out and said, okay, we want you to invest with us. We have a balance sheet, but we're only going to talk about like the positive side. And in terms of our liabilities, don't worry about it. We're fine.
Right. That's not very trustworthy.
You wouldn't invest, right? So what companies do, rich people do, is they own their shit. And owning your shit means, hey, here are my challenges. I'm not hiding them. I actually own them. They're a part of my assets. And look at how beautiful these challenges are. I'm working through them right now. And I'm not going to shame myself.
I would imagine that makes prayer come more naturally, because if you're making yourself wrong for your shit, then that leads more into the begging or the pleading or the hiding.
Yes. So the analogy I make is if you had a beggar outside of your home every day you walk out of the house and this beggar puts his hand out and says, please give me some change, help me out. Maybe you'll help the beggar the first 5 days, first 10 days, first 20 days. But after that, you're like, dude, get a job. Right? The same with God. If you're coming to God from a place of beggarship, maybe you'll get some change. But in any powerful partnership, we operate in the field of equality.
Yeah.
Equality means, okay, I'm not going to beg you, God. You brought me here. There's a set of things that you owe me, basic things like protection, and you got to provide for me, and I'm holding you to it. And I'm going to be honest with myself, and I'm going to share with you not only where I struggle, but also what my superpowers are, and I'm not going to hide either of them anymore.
Wow.
And
beyond
in that space,
prayer, I can just see how, in human dynamics, that's what I work with people a lot with, right? And in love and relationships is not having to hide and not having to pretend, and actually coming to each other on equal ground to say, what do we want to co-create here? So interesting that then hearing you talk about that in terms of prayer and God.
Amen. Amen. Let's do a quick side story, because I left a cliffhanger earlier.
Okay. And we've got about maybe 15 minutes total.
Beautiful.
So just arranging around that.
Great. Okay. So remember I said I was 34 and I was at the depth of my shadow work and really in a really tough place. This practice of prayer changed everything for me. And I started to see miracles, which I will share what I mean by miracles. Yeah. And from there, I healed and worked in personal development, started a men's community. I personally mentored over 300 men, mostly executives and CEOs and entrepreneurs. And I'll tell you, out of all the tools that I've ever taught and ever learned, the most powerful one that I ever work with is this technology called prayer.
Prayer.
And this prayer, we said, is a depository mechanism. And it happens when you come to the field of possibility from a space of equality. And we said equality means that you better be honest with your shit. You can't come to God, the field of possibility, and say, hey, everything's fine, but can you please throw some change? Yeah. And ownership means I'm going to own all my shit. Like, here's what I'm struggling with. Here's how I created this. And here's my role in it. And I need some change. Can you help me out?
Not the change, like your little bits of change, but actually I need something to shift.
Both. I need something here. Okay. And conversely, when we talk about equality and partnership, when you ask something from someone, equality means that you also must be willing to be asked of.
Yes,
so
that makes sense.
How often do we just beg instead of coming and saying, hey, what can I do for you?
Right.
What do you need
from me? Here's what
I
have in return, or here's what my gifts are that I can offer.
Here's my offering. We said equality. And what I share with people is, if you had the most powerful business partner in the entire universe, call it God, call it whatever you call it, the name doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you had the most powerful business partner in the entire universe, how often do you come to the board meetings? Prayer.
Say that again? If you had the most powerful business partner in the
the entire universe, how often do you come to the board meeting?
How often would I come to the board meeting? All the time.
Most people come to the board meeting once a year, once a month. They come to the board meeting on their back in bed. They don't come to the board meeting like a boss demanding, hey, here's what I need from you. What do you need from me? We got to get this thing going. So here is where we play.
Okay.
And prayer is a field of possibility. Possibility means for as long as you are a believer that anything is possible, then you can participate. That's your ticket.
Okay. So the ticket is being a believer that anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Okay.
And I call this being a possibilitarian.
I love it. I love your little phrases. A possibilitarian. Okay.
Some people call them Solayisms after my name, Solay.
I was going to say, I didn't mean to downplay them when I said your little sayings, but Solayisms, that's a great way to do it.
So being a possibilitarian means that I believe in anything is possible at all times.
Okay.
No matter how good my situation is or how bad it is, how much I'm struggling, I believe in possibility. And we've seen people who possibility has come into their life immediately. You see people who win the lottery, like overnight, boom, life changed. Yeah. You see, conversely, people who walk out the door, they're healthy, boom, they get hit by a car, they're dead. Yep. So anything is possible, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so when everything is possible, the question is, how willing are you to hold the field of possibility accountable? Prayer.
How willing are you to hold the field of possibility accountable? It's so interesting because as I sit with that, it's like, I think, am I willing? Sure. Do I know how? Is it just that I am believing and catching when I'm not believing?
Let's play there. Let's go there. So believing means I'm open to participating. Okay, I'm willing to even open it. And it's always so interesting to me, Shayna, that I meet a lot of spiritual people, a lot of people who are into personal development, and they think they're open-minded, but they're not open-minded about God, the real God.
Interesting.
Which is possibility.
Yeah.
That's the most open-minded you can be ever, that anything is possible at all times. And I can create a relationship with the field of possibility. And the way I create the relationship is through acknowledgement. A lot of people call this gratitude.
Okay.
But what I say is, if you don't acknowledge the field will not acknowledge you.
Interesting.
But when you acknowledge the field, what you're doing is you activate it.
Yeah.
Just like any good boss. Like if you're a boss and you have like employees, imagine you're a boss and you have employees. I know a lot of your listeners, they got businesses and people that they hire. Imagine if I was a boss and I had a bunch of employees and I was so stingy that I thought that everything that happens as a success in the business is only because of me.
Right.
And I thought that for any employee to get recognized, they have to create some absolute miraculous result before I say good job. So here, what I train people on is how to employ the field of possibility through acknowledgement.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So if you have an employee, you want to give good credit. You want to say, hey, good job. Keep going. Nice one. I see you.
Yeah.
The same with God. God wants to be known to be a good partner for everybody.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not talking about that old white dude. You can leave him aside. I'm talking about the field. The more you acknowledge the field, you say, thank you. I see you. You did that. It's because of you. The more the field will acknowledge you.
I like that. Since we have about 10 minutes or so, can we maybe do some kind of real life example of how you use this or something that you've prayed for, just so that people can get a sense of what that looks like?
Yes. And I want to give one more tool before I share this, because this is going to be important for people who want to practice in this field. And it's a practice. It's never perfect.
Okay.
And also prayer is so personal. There's no one way to pray.
Great.
There are people from around the world, different cultures, who pray in different ways. Some people dance. Some people cry. Some people sing as a prayer.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the way you deposit. So how do you deposit your best intentions? And every one of us have our own style of deposit. Mine is through the mouth. I'll pray and your listeners will hear.
Yeah.
The thing I want to share before that, though, is miracles. Because many of us have been told that miracles are like when Jesus falls from the sky, or, I don't know, Moses parts the sea, or somebody wins a lotto ticket. Oh my God, it was a miracle.
Versus actually it feels like a miracle that we even wake up in the morning, or that, there's...
Exactly.
I sometimes look at trees, like apple trees. I'm like, that just grows. That is a miracle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So most people have been raised to be very stingy. So they only want to recognize what I call mega miracles.
Got it.
Okay. And what I tell people is if you want to have mega miracles, you better start giving credit to the micro miracles first.
Yes. Yes.
Micro miracles, how many of them can you detect? I call this being a miracle detective.
Yes.
Where like every moment you're like, okay, let me check out all the miracles and
that are around
really
me right now.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from there, the field opens like a
Yeah.
flower.
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you an example, a real life example. I got married almost a year ago. I was living in Tulum,
Congratulations.
Mexico with my fiance at the time. And we put together this like very, very expensive wedding, very expensive. And we prayed the entire time as we were going through the guest list. We're like, let's pray and see who needs to be there and who can't be there. And it was really challenging because a lot of people who we thought are going to be invited, as we prayed, the answer was no.
Interesting. You just got a sense, a clarity that they were not supposed to be there, or what?
Absolute clarity. And the way we can get clarity is we can tell the field of possibility, God, please show me who's meant to be there and who's not, and make it so clear that it's undeniable by me.
Wow.
Once it's undeniable, I'll do whatever you say.
And when you say undeniable, is that a sense in your body? Is that, what's the undeniability?
You choose. You can set the bar for yourself, whatever undeniability is for you.
Okay.
At first, when I started praying, undeniability was a very high bar for me. I was like, it has to happen where it's so clear, so obvious. Someone has to literally say it to me, or it has to be verified.
Yeah.
But as you build a deeper relationship with any partnership, whether it's a man, woman, or the field, you don't need as much proof. You're just like, oh, I got the sign.
You
That's
feel
it.
it.
Done.
You get it. Right. There's kind of a download quality.
So we prayed. We decided who needs to be there and who doesn't. And it was really painful because some of the people who are very close to us, we had to call them and say, hey, I'm so sorry. Really challenging.
Wow.
And so we stayed really loyal to the field in the business partnership that we had. And a week before our wedding, it started raining like hell. And it wouldn't stop raining. And the night before the wedding, I'll never forget, our wedding planner comes up. He's like, listen, you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this wedding, and you definitely need to get a rain cover for the entire wedding, which is going to make the entire thing look ugly. And because it's going to rain tomorrow.
It's going to keep raining.
And I never forget, I said to him, hey, how do you know it's going to rain tomorrow? He said, I don't know, because it rained yesterday and today. I said, can you prove it's going to rain tomorrow? He said, no. I said, okay, let me pray. I prayed. Immediately, I got an answer that it's not going to rain tomorrow. So I called them and I was like, no cover, no rain
tent.
cover. And he was so shocked. Anyway, next day we go to the wedding, raining all day. Right before the wedding started, the entire sky cleared up. It was clear for 24 hours and a miracle had just happened. Okay? You can apply this to any business, to anything, any relationship. The point here, as we get ready to close up, is that most of us have been traumatized through religion to think that prayer is begging, and we've been programmed to live life by ourselves.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
So when we open the field and when we learn how to communicate, we recognize that partnership exists.
Yeah. Again, I'm bringing it back to that, what I work with and people in relationships, right? So there's this sense of oftentimes people don't believe that someone else is out there or that we can create a partnership. I have to do it all on my own. So even in the human realm, this gets lived out, right? And then I don't know, I want to say that on the spiritual realm, it's bigger, but there's like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it takes even more trust or more letting go or something for people to believe in possibility. I don't know. I was definitely raised to do it on my own, even though my family was religious in their own way. And I never got on board with religion, but I did take on some kind of stance that I was supposed to be strong and independent and do it on my own. And if I didn't do that, I was somehow weak or not good enough.
Yeah. It's very common for all of us to be self-sustaining. And every one of us, when we get to the top of the mountain, we realize that there's a limit.
Yeah.
And the only way to pass the limit is through partnership.
Yeah.
And I'll say one more thing. 85% of America's businesses, as per the Small Business Association, 85% of businesses in America are sole proprietorships, meaning they're independently owned.
Yeah.
Not because independently owned businesses do better, but because most people don't even know how to operate in the field of partnership.
Right.
They lie, they hide, they pretend. So the same exists with the ultimate partner, God, field of possibility, is the more you're able to be authentic, the more honest you are able to be with yourself and everyone around you, the more you're able to get connected to what is possible. And that takes a lot of trust.
Yeah. Any tip for how you navigate trust? I mean, it seems like at this point you really have it. I have it tattooed on my hand. Trust because I'm practicing. What would you say to that?
Trust needs to be built. You ask for your partner to go first and to say to God, hey, God, I want to build this with you. I'm tired of doing it alone. And I need you to show me 5 miracles and show them to me in a way that they're undeniable. And I put the onus of proof on you, God. You go first. I'll go second.
What I'm realizing we also didn't cover is how prayer can lead to purpose or partnership. You want to say a little bit about that?
In a very brief way, this is something that we cover a lot in our prayer community. It's called Pray It Forward, and it's men and women. And what we do is we not only hold the field of possibility accountable, but once you've held the field of possibility accountable enough times and your prayer has been answered enough times, you start to surrender and you start to recognize that all of your needs can be met. You're the ultimate creator at the end of the day. You did all of this to yourself and you can change all of it at any moment. Wow. And at that point of realization, what starts to happen is you're like, okay, God, I get it. All of my needs will be met. What do you need now? What is your request?
Wow.
And there is your purpose. Your purpose is to serve.
Yes.
But many people can't serve ultimately until they are served initially. And this is where prayer is so connected to purpose, because once you pray and you recognize how accurate of a technology it is, all of your needs are met, then the next thing is like, okay, God, how can I serve you? What are you asking for me to do now?
Beautiful. I'm just digesting. Thank you. Thank you for being someone who, opens our eyes beyond the rigid box or the sort of, demanding religious scriptures. This is how it has to be. To hear you speak about prayer in this way that feels more both human and spiritual, and also empowered and collaborative. Yeah, I'm appreciating that.
So let's do a closing prayer. Are you down? Are you into it?
I'm down. Yes, please.
Okay, beautiful. And I just want to make a discretion here that the way I pray is just one way, and I'm really good at it, but don't compare yourself to me, whoever you are listening. You got your own style. All you need to do is get in the prayer dojo and practice it.
Thank you.
That's some of the things that we do with our community of friends and people who just pray together. Okay? So let's close our eyes. We'll take a deep breath together. And as you breathe, it's so important to allow your nervous system to relax, recognizing how safe you are in this moment. And as you relax your nervous system, you're able to open your emotional field, allowing the emotion of love to be present. Even if it's just a little, bring it forth. And in this, allow yourself to expand that love through every cell inside of your body. And as you continue to breathe, relaxing your nervous system with love coursing through your veins in every cell, see if you can connect that emotion of love to all of us here or people sitting right next to you, holding that space for all of us. Take one more deep breath. And see if you can hold the emotions and intentions with me. God, universe, all beings of love and light, we say thank you so much for this very moment, for reminding us that possibility is our birthright, that we have the ability to have shifts in every single moment, that we're never ever stuck. And with this knowing that possibility is at our fingertips, we take a deep breath into the field, recognizing that all of our needs can be met. And in this, God, we ask for you to come forth, show us the signs, allow us to remember how easy it is to be in partnership with you, how playful it is to be in partnership with you. God, we're not here to beg. We're not here to plead. We are looking for a partner in the field of playfulness and prosperity and in the field of possibility. God, I pray that every listener listening to this show, including our grand host, Shayna, is blessed, that they receive finances and healthy relationships from unexpected directions, that they suddenly remember how easy it is for them to have access to this field of possibility. God, we call upon all of us to come together in this prayer, recognizing that we're holding the intensity of this intention, that we're not letting you go, God. You brought us here, and we're ready to be served. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Solay Rad, SOLAYRAD. And from there, you can join our free community around prayer. It's called Pray It Forward, where we are generous with our intentions and our prayers and our celebration. And you know, Shayna, this has to be a celebration.
Yeah.
And so we want to celebrate with you and your listeners and be able to experiment in this field of possibility together. Thank you so much for having me. You are such an awesome host. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. So good to have you. I'm so glad you joined us for today's episode of Man Alive. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and it gave you something to consider and explore in your life. If you like what you heard, I'd be so grateful for you to subscribe and write a quick review that helps men like you find us. And again, head over to ShaynaJamesCoaching.com/quiz or text the word ALIVE, ALIVE, to 44144 to get a sense of how you can become a better lover and leader. You'll start to see how you can be both more respected and desired in your unique and genuine way. If you don't feel as confident or as excited about life or love as you'd like to be, this quiz is a really great starting point and will guide you toward a more passionate love life and a more inspiring and successful career. So again, text ALIVE, ALIVE, to 44144 or head over to ShaynaJamesCoaching.com/quiz. Join us each week for a new episode of Man Alive.